we start painting this wall, I'll show you how to do it. And I start, not on the wall, I start with the skirtings, with the cutting in. The wall paint does go directly onto the wall because it's acrylic, but acrylic we're using low sheen on the wall, flat for the ceiling, and gloss on the skirting. But if we want to put the low sheen onto the skirting, it would peel off. Therefore, we need to have an undercoat. I'm using this one here. This is a luxury one. I'm using a 50 ml brush, and so you can see it. I don't dip it in just a little bit. I dip it right in. There's a lot of paint on it. And then I don't wipe it all off again, because then we've got nothing on the brush. So I dip it in, just clap it a little bit that it doesn't run off. And that's what I use to paint, undercoat the skirting and the wall at the same time. Here we have to do a bit of cleaning up first. The back of the brush can sometimes fix that and peel it off. Now we're going to cut that with a knife in a minute. And then I don't worry about the cutting in at the bottom right now, because that can be done later. A bit of paint. And I don't know if you can see me. I can turn around. Cut this in. This dries. This stuff here has ammonium in it that dries within 20 minutes. And because it dries quick, it bites into the oil paint. That's stage 1. Stage 2 is painting. Well, if you have to do the ceiling, you do that first, of course, but we're doing the walls today. So make sure you have the right equipment for a job like this. We start with the lights. The lights are important. You don't always need them. You do actually need them on a new building because they haven't turned the electricity on. You have to use cables and turn on the light and have light inside the building. With that, we have a stable ladder, which is strong. We have the paint tray, which we can move around, as you've seen before. We need paint. I usually use Taubmans. Dulux is a good paint. Use a good brand, actually. You can use Taubmans, Berger. The only paint I do not use is Luxury. I did use Luxury before. The only paint I buy at Luxury is the undercoat, the Speed Prep. That's the only one I buy there. That's a very good, it bites into the paint. For the top coat, it doesn't matter. Only make sure you use a low sheen for the wall, flat for the ceiling. You need at least 1 roller. I use 2, 1 for the ceiling, put it in water, use 1 for the wall. Paint brushes, it's good to have a few of them. Sometimes you forget and leave them dry, put them in water. Few of them, 50 millimeters wide, not the smaller ones. You don't do fine jobs with a small brush, you use the big ones. This one here to clean your brush. You click your brush in here to clean it. You put the roller on here to clean it and dry it. You don't want to do it too hard now because it's still wet. You need an extension like this one. Remember, working with an extension is so much easier than bending down. You can adjust them for a short, small hallway, make them longer for the bigger jobs. Get everywhere with motion and not with your back. Then I have a hose here. Of course, the drop sheet. This one has plastic under. The new ones have plastic underneath. Don't use just plastic drop sheets, because once you have paint on a plastic drop sheet and you walk on it, you will get it all over the place. While these fabric ones soak up the paint. I always have an adapter in the car, because some customers don't have that, and a hose with this adjustable nozzle to clean the rollers and brushes. And I think that's it. That's all you need.
Hi.
This is Lily, the painter chick, and we're gonna start painting the wall. So I stir the paint a bit. We just got a normal stick here. Low sheen. The best part of the paint is on the bottom, so we got to really stir that up into the paint. Only the oils and glues sitting on the top. Talking about the drop sheets, these new ones have a plastic underneath, so it doesn't go right through the floor. We don't use plastic drop sheets because once we have a drop here and we walk on it, we're going to walk it all over the place. The way we paint, we don't have much paint on the floor anyway. It's just for the occasional drop which comes loose, or when you use a roller it spits a little bit. The spatter on the floor, you don't want to spend time cleaning. Therefore we put a drop sheet down. That'll about do it. This one you can. The important part here is actually that which side we pour the paint. The label is on this side. You know this is low sheen. We don't want to cover that up. So I use this other side. Normally the instructions are on this side. This is the side we pour the paint. So we put that in a different bucket and put that in water, wash it right away. Now, so not on the label side, the other side, that's where we pour it. Only a little bit. And what we need for the day. So what I've done here, I only put this much paint in it. Not more paint. If you put too much, if it goes over here, over the metal, and you hold the brush upside down, it will run down your arm. That's what we try to avoid. And we don't dip it in a little bit. We dip it right in, again. Just clap it off, we can cut in that way. And we're basically shoveling the paint on. I usually start this way, and we don't have drips. So I just did it 1, 2, 3 times. We don't have to go many times like this, just with a lot of paint, very quickly. The bottom, the undercoat is already dry because there's ammonium in it, dries within minutes. And it doesn't matter if we touch the skirting because oil sticks onto acrylic, but acrylic does not go onto oil. That's why we put undercoat onto the oil paint. And here, doesn't matter on the first coat if you cut in first. You can do it on the second. Actually, you have to do it on the second coat. You have to cut in on the second coat before you roll. The ladder gets up there. Once we bring the ladder in, it looks like this. I always make sure that this is right down on both sides because we don't want the ladder to wobble. That's where the most accidents happen. And we don't use a chair either, or a cheap ladder. We use a proper one that is really stable. This is how the ladder normally comes. And Lily, you show us how we use our ladder.
Okay, this ladder, put it down.
That's right. Put it down to stabilize the ladder. It's very important.
After, okay, then here.
We turn it that way.
This way.
Yeah.
This way. Okay.
That's right.
It's not easy.
Yeah. Because yeah, I do it. I can talk.
This one top, not
No.
touch.
Yeah, we don't use the top.
Yeah, if I
Hang on. Go back for a sec.
Okay.
Yeah, just want to make sure you got to have 1, 2, 3, 4 points we're hanging on to, and you have your hand. It's another point, so we can do a longer range from far here to the right. We can move further.
Left.
Yeah,
Right. Okay, I can do.
that's it. We never use the top because it's only 1 point, not enough. It's too dangerous unless you can hang on to something. So the same thing here. I dip it in. Maybe I wipe a little bit more. So I start down here, and then I go up into the corner and cut it in. And wipe it off once. Maybe twice, that's it. And then we go to the next spot. I'm right-handed, so I start normally on the left, go to my right. If you're left-handed, you start on the right and work to your left. And wipe it off. That's it. It's another spot. I'm right-handed, it's better for me to work this way. Start down here, you get a lot of paint here, you get rid of it once you have the right, it's too much paint, the right amount of paint, we cut it in. It's not straight, do it again. And wipe the excess paint off. That's it. The corner, I touch it here, push the brush up into the corner there. The tip of the brush. The way you hold it. To the left. Wipe the excess. Just the width of the brush where the roller can get to. And same here again. Work my way up with the brush, pushing it down. And just because there's a lot of paint inside the brush, you can go a long way. And with time, you become really fast at it. And that's how cutting it is done. So I talk about something else. I talk about trays. These are the cheaper ones. You get them with the roller on special. I don't like to use them. They're too flexible. The paint can spill out very easily. You can't take them with you on the scaffolding. Yeah, this tray here has a lip over the top. So you can actually drop it and walk up a scaffolding. Got a nice handle down here, and then we can climb up, put it on the next part here, doesn't spill. The other thing is, like I was saying before, we don't work with our back. We move even the tray with our foot. Move it along like that. And when it's full of paint, it's heavy, we can hold it with one hand while you got the roller in the other hand and move it around. You really got to remember, I have this one in our hand. We just move the paint close to the job. With this one here, we need two hands because it flexes, it can run out. We would need two hands with that one. That's why I prefer this tray here. A roller extension, a big roller. This one can extend it. Short for little hallways. You can roll this way in the hallway and that way. If it's wider, normally they just fit. And what we about do, we extend it and work with leverage. So we work with leverage. Yeah, we see. I show you how I've seen it on television. In television, they work with their back and they exhaust it in no time because they paint like this and go up and down, sideways. They paint like this. And by the end of the day, there are 10 people on one wall actually. By the end of the day, they must be all exhausted. You never paint again. If you do it properly, get an extension and use the leverage of this paint roller, then you can do it in no time. So you see that I go forward with the roller. I don't push it back, then it would run over the edge. So always forward. A little bit back, okay. And then I don't start right in the corner. I have too much paint there. I start a bit further away. Then I can work it this way and that way. I start here. Takes a while till the roller absorbs the paint. So I have to get a bit more. I always also go upwards first. And now you can see that it goes nicely with the cutting in. I have to turn this way to get into the corner, turn the roller. We just work that paint into the corner. It's not enough paint because we're just starting. Once it's running really well, you have more paint. So that's it. Now we're starting to go till it runs out of paint. It's an older roller, it comes loose. And then again, I don't start here, I start here. Roll backwards. to go into the corner here. Just finishing it off. And you can see that I'm working with the leverage here, not with my body going up and down. That's what I'm doing here. And anybody can do that, see? You can do it with your, basically you can do it with your fingers here. I'm just holding the roller straight. That's what we're doing here with the leverage. Okay, then we just finish it. Roll it till no paint comes out. To here.
I'm stand here.
Yeah,
Okay.
fantastic. Lily, the painter chick, can do it.
Okay. Okay. Again? Okay. Stand here.
How you do it? That's, yeah, you're doing that for 4 years now, Lily.
Yeah, I know.
This roller.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you go to the left as well and fade it out. There's too much paint. Okay,
yeah.
there's too much
I
paint here.
understand.
There's too much paint here. So we go, but you don't leave it off. You stop here. You remember, you stop here. And you keep going and phase it out till no paint comes out of the roller again. Remember?
Yes, I
Can
know.
you all see it? I turn this way for the other camera. And then once we run out of paint, it's time to pick up more paint. I dip it in, 1, 2, 3. And don't start where I left off. I go a little bit further because then I can spread the paint more easily. This is an old extension. Keeps coming apart. Then I go back because that's how I spread the paint. And then I keep rolling to spread all the paint I have out. And then I get more paint and keep going to the next section, start here. Okay, secure the ladder. I go this way. Same again. Dip it in, too much paint. Get rid of it, that it doesn't drip. And then, I don't know if you can see it here. Where do I brew it? Where you see it, down here. Just start down here. Get rid of some paint and then cut it in and lay it off. That's it. Easily done. The same up the top, the same here. Some paint. It's too much paint, so I don't start right up the top. Too much. Got to wipe it off. And then I have the paint on the bottom. Then I just cut it in. Without masking. You see how I roll and turn the brush to push it. I get in there. And lay it off. The paint I'm picking up here again. Here a bit wider, and the roller can get it. And that's it. Push it up, cut it in. It's already dry up here, you can do the second coat. Without masking, didn't cover, and then laying it off. And that's how it's done. I just want to show you when we paint and cut in on windows and other places and lay that off. We sometimes have paint on the window frame, in this case on the cupboard frame. What I do then, I get a spatula, put the rag over it, and then I clean this area off. Then I have paint on here, can move it a bit further and do a bit further. And that's how the painters get it really nice looking and clean, while others leave it like that. That's the only difference. How to clean it, that's the difference. Yeah, I show it again. Just put it on there and on it down to get this surface clean. So What I do first, I clean the, leave it on, that's it. I clean the tray. Clean the brush. I like to do it this way. Get the paint out of the inside of the brush. And I actually leave it overnight. After this I leave it overnight in a bucket of water, then the paint dissolves inside. And then what you can do the next day, after you take it out of the water, next day you put it in here. If you don't have the lawn, you can put it in the bucket and spin it. What this does is spins it dry. That's one way of doing it. And the roller, we do differently. Here in Queensland, on the dry summer, we're gonna wet the grass first, that we don't paint the grass, that we have the paint soaking into the grass. We wet the area first and we don't spoil the area. We extend this roller here. And you've seen already turned the tray around. Another use for this tray. Put my foot on there. I like these cheap hoses, you can adjust them. And all you do to clean them, got to make this wet. Because we don't want to paint the wall today. That it doesn't soak in. So there we go. Come a bit closer. And this is the principle of all paint roller cleaners. And if you don't have a roller cleaner, you just simply do it this way. Don't worry about the paint going everywhere, because if you keep going, you have more and more clean water. If you come a bit closer, put more pressure on it. And this is where we clean a roller. Well, it's not, it looks maybe in the camera clean, but it's not. It's a lot of paint inside. So we wash it and do the same thing again. Make sure we don't have it everywhere. And just hold it on there. And a good roller would spin very fast. A quality roller. So it's not clean, we do that a bit longer. So then we clean the area. The best thing is to leave the roller as well for a day in the bucket, in water. You have two ways. Next day you can do two things. You can spin it again. The other thing, one thing is when I clean it, I don't know if you noticed, what I usually do before I put it in water, I just take it off a little bit, that the water gets inside, otherwise it dries up inside. And with this, you can do the same thing. You can put it inside the bucket here, or you can spin dry it like that. But it's not completely dry, so I leave it in water for a day and wash it the next day. That's it. Thank you very much for listening for episode 1.